maybe of these showers moving south. Looks like Centerville as well, just about to taper off. Looks like around Vance and over towards West Blockton. No rain in Tuscaloosa, and actually the camera view I was seeing a few moments ago over in Tuscaloosa showed some breaks in the clouds. You can see the back edge of the cloud cover now pushing into West Alabama, but this is the last of the rain that moves on by. We've got colder, drier air settling in. The heaviest rain is way back in here, moving into parts of the Carolinas. But what a system that moved through the area yesterday. Had over 3-4 inches of rain in a lot of locations. Freeze watch is in effect for Wednesday morning. Again, this is not a concern for tonight. Even though you will need the jacket, the temperatures out there for Wednesday morning could drop into the upper 20s in areas to the north. I certainly think frost is more likely, so make sure the plants are protected for early Wednesday morning. After that, we're going to be talking about some dry weather and then a chance of rain coming back again by late on Thursday. But lows tomorrow morning, it's cold out there. We have some low 40s expected, maybe a few upper 30s to the north. You can see, though, a big difference there early Wednesday morning. Possibility of temperatures around 32 degrees early for Jasper and Aniana on Wednesday. So the cold weather is back, and crank up the heat. Meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now with just how much rainfall we saw this weekend and if we broke any records.
We saw a lot of rainfall yesterday in some spots, dealing with some flooding. This is actually one of those photos sent in through our WBRC First Alert weather app. Corey Ferguson sent this in at Meadow Lake Subdivision, Eastern Valley, noticing that flooding along this area. So that obviously causing some issues getting in and out. And of course, with the saturated ground and a little bit of some wind gusts up maybe to 20-30 miles an hour, sometimes some of those trees are falling down. This is a picture sent in from Amanda through the app showing this particular tree down on the ground. And we saw even some visuals of some trees on some homes as well. So kind of messy across the area, and we got a lot of rainfall. Here's a look at our weather watcher reports. Pell City, Bobby Rowe reporting 4 1/4 inches of rainfall. Storm total over the past several days. Out of Talladega, almost 4 inches there. Joseph Williamson reporting that. We've got Sarah Porter from Oakman, over 3.5 inches of rainfall. Trussville, Birmingham, almost 3.5 from Joey Emberson and Tyler Young. And then John King reporting over 3 inches of rain there in Alabaster. So we actually broke some records yesterday. These are daily rainfall records, and in Birmingham we recorded 3.05 inches of rainfall, broke the record of 2.47 back in 2014. Tuscaloosa over 3 inches there. The daily record rainfall for April 6 was 2.71 inches back in 2005, and Anniston recorded almost 3 inches of rainfall. Their old record was nearly 2.5, and that was set back in 1997. So pretty incredible stuff. These are looks over the past 3 days of our estimated rainfall on the radar, and it's estimating nearly 3 inches of rain. Of course, some spots saw more, and it looks like the bullseye of rain, we had 2 spots. We had some intense storms early Sunday morning that Lauren and Wes were tracking, in parts of Lamar into Pickens, Fayette counties. Almost 6 inches of rainfall has fallen near Fayette, and then we had more storms redevelop as we go into Sunday afternoon that produce almost 4 to 5 inches of rainfall as you go down towards Coosa, Clay, and Tallapoosa County. So pretty impressive. No doubt it's going to help us out on getting rid of those abnormally dry conditions. And so far for the month of Birmingham, we've recorded over 3 inches of rain. Over 3.5 inches of rain has been recorded in Tuscaloosa, and almost 3 inches there in Anniston. And typically in April, we'll pick up about 4.5 to 5 inches of rainfall.
A lot of rain out there, and obviously you can see the impact that's had on the local waterways. That's a live look at the Warrior River in Tuscaloosa. 51 degrees right now. Starting to see some breaks there in the clouds in Tuscaloosa. We do have minor flooding forecasts along the Tombigbee River at Bevel, Lock and Dam. You can see the forecast crest at 126.8 feet. That's going to be happening at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Forecast crest at Oliver Lock and Dam is going to happen overnight tonight. A crest at 129 feet. The That's going to put it right there close to minor flood stage. And looking at the Locust Fork at Sayre, we've seen some flooding happening there as well. You can see minor flooding and a crest expected overnight tonight at 29 feet. But also on the Warrior River down at Selden Lock and Dam, we have minor flooding expected, and you can see there the crest around 91 feet as well. So seeing some flooding on some of the local waterways, a lot of rain. It has been years since we've seen this kind of rainfall area wide across the area, but more wet weather possible later on Thursday. We'll talk more about that coming up. Right now, let's go to Tania.
Well, thanks, Wes. We're going to take you now to North Alabama, where 3 tornadoes were confirmed across the region during this weekend's storms. Take a look at this video as one of the tornadoes moved over the Florence area. The EF1 tornadoes hit Shoals overnight, sweeping through Sheffield, Tuscumbia, and Aqua Vista. And today, as the recovery process begins, it's not just first responders and neighbors supporting the Shoals. The Red Cross has boots on the ground, providing essential supplies and food to everyone impacted by the storms. Leaders with the organization say they're just glad to see the community banding together.
There's so much devastation, but I'm smiling because in these situations you get to see the very best in humans. You get to see people come together, help each other. You get to see churches, organizations, community groups, and you get to see people working together and helping each other out.
Anderson says they will be out in the community providing supplies for as long as they are needed. And in Bessemer, flash flooding continuing to create headaches in the Meadow Lake neighborhood. Water rose to the point it almost reached people's mailboxes. Your reporter Brady Talbert looks into the problem and what can be done about it.
Water always comes up to the driveway to the point of it almost floods your house. And then have the neighbors walking through your yard, which I understand you got to get home.
When Carl Boston got here around 2012, he knew he wasn't moving onto lakefront property. But unfortunately, some days it feels like it for all the wrong reasons.
We have cars come through here trying to think they can make it. They get stuck in the water, and FedEx trucks, UPS trucks, who don't know how deep the water is, and they think they can get home, and they can't.
At some parts of the neighborhood, the water sits just below the mailboxes whenever there is significant rain. Boston says this all started when the top section of the neighborhood was built. Storm drainage routed behind people's homes.
And this is where it stems from. It's just excess water flow, and there's nowhere to go.
Boston says the water hasn't gone inside his house yet, but it has for some of his neighbors. He says his subdivision is sectioned for Jefferson County, and they have sent emails and even received a visit from the county commission president. Boston wants some type of resolution here because this reoccurring issue continues to affect people's lives.
Elderly folks here, they can't get out and, to go to the hospital or whatever, and it happens all the time. People need to get to work.
Well, coming up in 30 seconds, we bring the first alert for those chilly morning temperatures and tell you what you can when exactly you can put that coat away. We'll be right back. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Looking ahead for low temperatures. First off, let's show you tonight. The actual air temperatures will be down in the low 40s for lows, so no worries about frost tonight. The big concern is going to be tomorrow night. And actually tomorrow morning, that north wind is still around, so plan for a bit of a wind chill there early in the day. You'll want to bundle up for the morning hours. Let's take it on into Wednesday morning and looking at those lows. Yeah, right around freezing to the north. We might see a few upper 20s there on the map. Birmingham around 36. So with respect to what to wear, looks like certainly early Wednesday you'll want that heavy jacket. Let's talk about the afternoon high temperatures over the next few days. And I'm sorry. Thanks, Dania. Let's go back to the high temperatures here for the next few days. You can see through Thursday, afternoon highs around 74. Friday and Saturday, we're looking at those highs in the 60s. So at least during the afternoon, we're going to see some nice warm-ups later in the day. But we'll talk a lot more about those low temperatures and rain chances coming up in weather every 6 minutes.
Well, thanks, Wes. Before we take you around the world, let's talk about what you need to wear heading out the door right here across central Alabama. For this week, kind of giving you a little bit of help, a little fashion advice. Number one, as far as a heavy coat, you won't really need that, but I do think a light sweater or jacket for those early morning hours will be just good enough, right? Because we warm up in the afternoon and then you can really just take those layers off. I would suggest having long sleeves or at least some kind of layers so that you're a little bit warmer earlier in the day. As far as gloves and boots, we're starting to put those away because the afternoons, you'll be sweating if you're wearing that. But let's take you around the world now and to places really that aren't the only ones seeing heavy rain and storms. This happened over the weekend. Some areas across the central U.S., nearly an entire spring's worth of rain fell over the span of just a few days. On Saturday alone, over a dozen daily rainfall records were set in Tennessee and Arkansas, with flooding prompting water rescues across Ohio. And as rivers are already cresting and more expected to crest this week, they're now beginning to threaten communities impacted by the weekend floods. Taking you around the world to Brazil, where they also experienced dangerous flooding. Look at this video out of Rio de Janeiro. Oh my gosh, I never can say that, okay? So don't come at me. Of cows being swept away by flooded waters, the city declared a state of emergency on Saturday due to the heavy rains. Officials say nearly 400 people and dozens of pets were displaced in the region. These severe weather threats, not just around the world, but in our area too, can be stressful for any and everyone. But for those who suffer from anxiety, it can just be extra overwhelming. UAB psychologist Dr. Josh Kaplow explains that people who seem calm in everyday life may silently be suffering during storm threats. He says one of the most effective ways to cope is by taking action, preparing, getting those supplies together, knowing your safe place, and most importantly, reaching out for support. Anxiety can feel so isolating, but you don't have to go through it alone.
If you're really suffering from anxiety, make sure you let somebody in your family know who you can sort of lean on to improve and to support you through it. When the weather passes, you're going to be okay.
The National Weather Service recommends getting your information from a reliable source, as inaccurate or misleading reports can often make your anxiety just much worse. Still ahead, we talk about the next best chance for rain and take you beyond the 7-day to when we could possibly see temperatures warming back up so you can get those gardens started. We'll be right back.
And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. A lot of clouds still showing up here from Blount County. A live look from Nectar. It's 48 degrees out there. What a change in temperatures. But if we look at the view from Birmingham, you can see off to the north, that clearing line. Here it comes. The rain is slowly tapering off. We still have some leftover drizzle and mist. Noticing back to the west into Tuscaloosa, seeing some sunshine. You can see there at 51. So finally starting to see some breaks in the clouds. But a lot of rain that we've had over the past 24, 48 hours. The wind is going to stay elevated out of the north. That wind speed is going to stay up through tonight. So that should help limit fog development. But you can see there are some showers showing up around Birmingham and Point South. This is going to continue to taper off from north to south through this evening. And that's it as far as the rain goes. It's light mist, light drizzle, nothing too extreme, but we'll see that taper off. You can see even the models are struggling to pick up on that. But overnight tonight, the clouds move out. Temperatures tumble into the low 40s. It stays breezy. Winds out of the northwest, and that's going to add to the chill tomorrow morning. Now, this data is showing the possibility of maybe some upper 30s to the north. No worries about frost or freezing temperatures, although you'll need that heavy jacket in the morning. Feeling a lot colder, especially coming off of last week. We had temperatures in the 80s. That's a big shock to the system out there early tomorrow morning, that kind of cold. Rest of the day, looks like we'll have sunshine. The afternoon highs around 60. And look, even though it feels a lot cooler tomorrow, sunburn, it sneaks up on you this time of the year. That sun's more direct here in April, so make sure you have sun protection out there, even though it's going to feel a lot cooler tomorrow. A mostly sunny day. Looking ahead to Wednesday morning, lows down in the 30s, and a light freeze will be possible for areas north and east. Make sure the plants are protected early Wednesday morning. Next big chance for rain. It's another cold front. It's going to move in Thursday night, and it looks like a chance for showers and possibly a few storms that could move in as early as late afternoon for areas to the north. So check in as we fine-tune the timing on this. The one good thing, though, not seeing a severe weather risk, thankfully, with this setup. But we could have a couple of rumbles of thunder as it moves south. So we'll need to keep a watch on the weather app. Late on Thursday, we have that first alert for the possibility of a passing storm. But that front basically keeps our temperatures sort of in check. Notice we go to 74, and then Friday's high around 66. How about a dry weekend coming up? Yeah, we need that. We deserve that after all the stormy weather we dealt with Saturday and the Sunday. Right now, looks like dry conditions. 65 on Saturday, 72 on Sunday. A few showers by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And just looking ahead to Nia, next week we were talking about the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. There's a chance, I know Easter's coming up, and we've got one of the global data that suggests for Easter Sunday maybe some showers and storms, but one model set keeps us dry. It's just way too soon to know.
Way too soon.
Yeah.
So if you have Easter plans, I wouldn't say cancel them just yet, right, Wes? Like,
right.
hold off.
Yeah, we got plenty of time to watch it.
Plenty of time to watch it. But I know there's some Easter events happening as early as this weekend,
right,
which will be great.
Yeah, the big run coming up too early Saturday morning.
Yes, this weekend doesn't look too bad. Yeah, a little chilly for those early mornings, but as far as temperatures 8 to 14 days out from now, April 15th through the 21st, much of the United States could be dealing with above average temperatures. So as far as any more freezes left, let's talk about it. So as we look ahead and tracking those temperatures and the cold and warm air battling each other as we really settle into the spring season, you'll be able to see that I do think we could still have some more chilly mornings at some point. This is us looking at April the 17th. This is really right before the weekend of Easter. Still seeing the chance for some 30s in the forecast, and it looks like areas further north of us even colder than that. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to put those winter clothes away just yet. Hold on to at least a jacket or a sweater, and maybe even one of those thicker coats for the early mornings. It looks like we have some chilly or milder conditions, I should say. April the 18th, 49, low 40s up in Nashville area, so still some cold air. The afternoons don't look terrible. I'm seeing some good afternoons in the days ahead. It looks like April the 19th, pretty good there, 77 degrees, not bad. I believe that's a Saturday before Easter Sunday, the 20th. And then we bring in the 21st, and I'm seeing, okay, some more milder conditions, 60s in the forecast. But here we are looking at that precipitation outlook. We talked about there being a chance for a system that could impact us Easter weekend. Still plenty of time to fine tune that. But as far as looking 8 to 14 days out in general, it looks like much of the United States could be dealing with more near average or more normal precipitation that we typically would see this time of the year. And that includes us right here across central Alabama. Well, that's a look at the Beyond the 7-Day forecast. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. But let's talk about this. These April showers may bring, well, spring Mayflowers. Horticulture experts are warning folks not to start planting too early. We still say hold off just a little bit. Fox's News' Sue Guzman is digging up all the tips and tricks for the perfect spring garden.
As warmer spring weather continues settling across the country, the sunshine, buds, and bird calls may be tempting gardening fanatics to start getting to work. But green thumbs beware, your eagerness could be setting you up for failure down the line.
It's too early, though, to do a lot of cultivation. You know, we could be disturbing or harming our soil health by breaking ground right now.
Horticulture experts like Karen Mitchell of Purdue University say it's best to wait until the last frost to plant most vegetables and flowers.
Early May sometimes, but then again, we will get a late frost in May occasionally. So keeping an eye on the forecast and looking for that last frost.
Instead of breaking ground now, gardeners are advised to use this time to plan and identify any problem areas.
Planning the layout, planning your shopping list. Are there wet spots? Are there shady spots?
Folks in more temperate climates should be mindful of sunlight access once any surrounding trees have fully blossomed.
A lot of shade will arrive with the leaves. So right now you might have some sunny spots that won't be sunny in the summer.
Meanwhile, if you're hitting up local hardware stores or greenhouses, experts say you may not want to forget these helpful tools.
First off is gloves, right? So I will often forget them until they're too late, but they are a important part of year-round gardening. And then my second favorite would probably be just a normal hand trowel. I do like ones that have more of an ergonomic grip so that you don't have as much fatigue.
Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Oh yeah, that's why we always say check in for that forecast, because we'll let you know when you can really start planting those gardens. So be sure to stay tuned with us right here on First Alert Weather Extra throughout the upcoming weeks, and stay with us as our friends visit Jones Valley Teaching Farm and they show us the best plants to grow during the spring season. We'll be right back with a final check of your weather. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, back to cold weather tonight, but no worries about freezing tonight. It's tomorrow night, Tania.
Yes, that's when that freeze watch goes into effect. So no frost tonight, no frost tomorrow morning, but it's coming.
Yeah, watch out early Wednesday morning. We'll talk more about those